Live from New Delhi, you are watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I am Flora Swai, and coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi urges citizens to hoist the national tricolour at home to mark India's 80th Independence Day on Saturday. First deaths reported in Houthi strike on shipping as 6 killed after attack in Bab el-Mandeb Strait in Gulf of Oman. US strikes a ship trying to break blockade against Iran. Colombia earthquake death toll rises above 240 as rescuers race to find survivors through mountains of rubble. Thailand suspends new gun permits days after a 14-year-old gunman killed 9 people in a school. Europe to witness a rare total solar eclipse on Wednesday. First of Spain's 3 eclipse run will plunge parts of the country into eerie daytime darkness. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday called on every household to participate enthusiastically in the Har Ghar Tiranga movement, urging citizens to hoist the tricolour and renew their pledge to contribute towards building a Viksit Bharat ahead of Independence Day. He said that the tricolour is our pride and a constant source of inspiration to always give our best for the nation. PM Modi also expressed happiness that this year's Har Ghar Tiranga campaign is dedicated to Vande Mataram as the nation marks the 150th anniversary of the national song.
आइए 15 अगस्त को आन बान शान से मनाएं, स्वतंत्र सेनानियों को श्रद्धांजलि दें, विकसित भारत का संकल्प लें, हर घर तिरंगा, घर घर तिरंगा, हर मन तिरंगा। आइए हर घर पर तिरंगा लहराइए। भारत माता की जय। वंदे मातरम, वंदे मातरम, वंदे मातरम।
India is set to celebrate 80th Independence Day this 15th of August, a day that is defined by patriotic fervor, remembrance of freedom struggle and aspirations of future. Celebrations are led by the Prime Minister from the ramparts of the historic Red Fort with hoisting of the tricolour. The next report explores the significance of the day, the story of India's national flag.
The Independence Day on 15th August marks the dawn of freedom of India. The year was 1947. As the tricolour rose high, it was the beginning of an era of deliverance from the clutches of British colonialism of more than 200 years. India's independence was a tryst with destiny, as the struggle for freedom was long and witnessed the sacrifices of numerous freedom fighters. India is celebrating 80th Independence Day in 2026. The day is celebrated with patriotic fervour by Indians at home and abroad. The celebrations are led by the Prime Minister of India from the ramparts of the historic Red Fort in Delhi. As the leader of the nation hoists the national flag, the nation is filled with pride over its heritage and energized to fulfill the aspirations of its people. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has set an ambitious goal for the nation. India will seek to become a developed nation by 2047 when it celebrates 100 years of independence.
140 करोड़ भारतवासी 2047 में जब आजादी के 100 साल होंगे विकसित भारत के संकल्प को परिपूर्ण करने के लिए पूरी ताकत से जुटे हैं। इस संकल्प की पूर्ति के लिए भारत आज हर सेक्टर में आधुनिक इकोसिस्टम तैयार कर रहा है और आधुनिक इकोसिस्टम हर क्षेत्र में हमारे देश को आत्मनिर्भर बनाएगा।
Across India and the world, from the grand ceremony at the Red Fort to schools, missions, institutions and homes, the national flag becomes a symbol of freedom and unity in diversity. Har Ghar Tiranga is an initiative by the Government of India to foster a personal connection between citizens and the Indian national flag, the Tiranga. The journey of tricolour mirrors the journey of India's freedom struggle itself. The present form of India's national flag was adopted by the Constituent Assembly on July 22, 1947. But decades before that, different flags emerged as symbols of India's growing national consciousness. In 1906, during the Swadeshi and boycott movement, a flag was hoisted at Parsi Bhagan Square in Kolkata. Madam Bikaji Kama raised first Indian flag in Germany. Then came 1917. During the Home Rule movement, Annie Besant and Bal Gangadhar Tilak used a flag that represented demand for greater self-rule for Indians. And in 1921, at the Congress session in Vijayawada, a young freedom fighter named Pingali Venkaya presented a flag designed to Mahatma Gandhi. A charka at its center represented progress and self-reliance. In 1931, a formal resolution adopted a modified version of this design. Saffron replaced red, while white and green remained. In July 1947, the Constituent Assembly adopted the flag of independent India as we know it today, the spinning wheel by the Dharma Chakra of Emperor Ashoka, the wheel of truth, movement and righteous progress. The flag was no longer simply a symbol of a movement. It became the flag of a nation, the tricolour. Hoisting the national flag comes with responsibility. The Flag Code of India lays down rules for the respectful display of the tricolour. The national flag should traditionally be hoisted at sunrise and lowered at sunset. Since the 2022 amendment, the flag can also be flown at night if it is adequately illuminated. Hoist the flag briskly and lower it slowly with dignity. Keep the saffron band on top when displayed vertically. Display the flag in a prominent position, not overshadowed by other flags or objects. Ensure the flag is clean, undamaged and of correct proportions of 3:2. Flag can be made of hand-spun, hand-woven or machine-made cotton, polyester, wool or silk khadi bunting. The flag may be flown by individuals, private organizations and educational institutions on all days. Damaged or soiled flags should be disposed of privately in a dignified manner. From the first flags of the freedom movement to the tricolour of today, the journey of the national flag is part of the nation's history. On every August 15th, it rises again to remind us what it represents: freedom, unity, dignity and responsibility. Bureau Report, DD India.
Now let's take a look at some other interesting stories related to upcoming Independence Day celebrations. While most flautists play the flute using their mouths, Bikaner resident Basant Ojha has mastered the art of playing it through his nose. Ojha is putting his unique skill to work rehearsing patriotic songs for Independence Day celebrations. The musician hopes to take this unique skill further by teaching younger artists and helping the technique gain wider acceptance and popularity. Similarly, women are working tirelessly these days across the country to stitch the tricolour ahead of Independence Day. Women at the self-help group in Uttar Pradesh's Saharanpur have an ambitious target of producing 222,000 flags under the Har Ghar Tiranga campaign, which will be distributed across the district. The aim is not just of producing the tricolour in large quantities, but also of helping women from self-help groups earn some additional income. In Jammu and Kashmir, a tricolour bike rally was organised in Benihal in run-up to the Independence Day. Police personnel, security forces, army personnel, youth, students, volunteers and locals all participated enthusiastically. Participants carrying the national flag rode to Kharpura, displaying the tricolour and spreading a message of patriotism and unity. With the Independence Day just 4 days away, roadside stalls across Rajasthan's Bikaner are turning into tricolour markets as sellers prepare to meet the rush ahead of the 15th of August. National flags of all sizes are available here, from small flags to larger ones for bigger celebrations. There is something for everyone. Since its launch 4 years ago, the Har Ghar Tiranga campaign has encouraged people to hoist the national flag at their homes and share images of their participation in Independence Day celebrations. And an update on what's lined up in both the houses of Parliament for today. In Rajya Sabha, or the upper house, Union Home Minister Amit Shah will move the Kerala Alteration of Name Bill 2026 for consideration and passing. The bill proposes to change the name of state of Kerala as Keralam. In February 2026, the Union Cabinet had declared the proposal for the name change. Earlier, the Legislative Assembly of Kerala had passed a resolution in June 2024 to alter the name of the state of Kerala to Keralam. Amit Shah will also move the National Cooperative Development Cooperation Amendment Bill 2026. The bill expands the financial and operational parts of the NCDC to strengthen India's cooperative sector. On the other hand, in the Lok Sabha, or the lower house, Union Mines Minister G. Kishan Reddy will move the Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Amendment Bill 2026 for consideration and passing. The bill proposes a series of reforms aimed at making India's mining sector more efficient, investment-friendly and better equipped to meet the country's growing demand for critical minerals. India is moving ahead with its transition to E20 fuel, a petrol blend containing up to 20% ethanol. The country is combining global experience with India-specific testing to ensure the fuel transition is reliable and suited to local conditions. Here's more on this.
As India moves ahead with its E20 transition, the focus is on making sure the fuel performs well under Indian conditions. The Automotive Research Association of India, a leading automotive R&D organization, is testing E20 for vehicle performance, emissions, and material compatibility. The testing goes beyond vehicle performance. AR/AI is also using fleet data, emissions assessments, and globally recognized engineering and testing standards to evaluate how E20 works under Indian operating conditions. India's E20 transition is also drawing on the experience of other countries. Brazil, the United States, and several European nations have used ethanol blended fuels for years to reduce emissions and diversify their energy supplies. AR/AI says combining global insights with India specific scientific assessment can help support a reliable and efficient E20 transition. The move is aimed at promoting cleaner mobility while strengthening energy diversification and supporting India's long-term sustainability goals. For India, the focus is on using global experience while ensuring E20 is thoroughly assessed for the country's own vehicles, roads, and operating conditions. Bureau Report, DD India.
And now in some weather updates. Amidst the aggressive impact of the monsoon across the country, the Meteorological Department has once again issued an alarming alert. Delhi and Haryana are likely to receive widespread rainfall with another spell of rain expected on the 13th of August. The national capital may also experience thunderstorms and lightning during the active monsoon spell. The western Himalayan region is expected to remain wet through much of the week. Fairly widespread to widespread rainfall is likely over Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh and Uttarakhand till 16th of August. Heavy rain disrupted traffic on 56 roads in Himachal Pradesh. Chandigarh-Manali National Highway 3 also blocked near Jhalaugi. In central part of the country, Madhya Pradesh is likely to remain one of the major rainfall hotspots in central India. West Madhya Pradesh is expected to receive widespread rainfall, while East Madhya Pradesh is likely to see widespread rainfall from until 16th of August. The IMD has also forecast scattered rainfall over Maharashtra, Marathwada and Saurashtra and Kutch during this period. East India is likely to remain under an active monsoon spell. Fairly widespread to widespread rainfall is expected over Odisha and Gangetic West Bengal through 16th of August. Very heavy rainfall is possible at isolated places over Arunachal Pradesh and Assam and Meghalaya on the 15th and 16th of August. Meanwhile, southern India is likely to experience a mix of scattered and widespread rainfall during the week. Fairly widespread to widespread rainfall is forecast over coastal Karnataka, Kerala, Mahe and Lakshadweep until 16th of August. Still to come on this edition of DD India Live, Zelensky's claim Ukraine has given US negotiators proposals for ending the Russia war. Pankaj Advani handed a wildcard entry into Hayball World Championships. And a special report on father of the Indian space program, Vikram Sarabhai, on his 107th birth anniversary.
This week on Defense Dynamics, is India ready to enter the 6th generation fighter race? New Delhi explores a role in French-led FCAS. What does that mean? Could the 114 Rafales become Indian Air Force's biggest fighter acquisition in decades? And what does the successful Agni 4 trial mean for India's strategic deterrence capability? Find it all this week on Defense Dynamics this Wednesday at 8 p.m. IST only on DD India.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Flora Swine. Moving on to US-Iran, 4 crew members were killed in an attack by Iran-backed Houthis on a cargo ship in the el-Mandeb Strait on Tuesday. At the southern end of the Red Sea, 4 crew members and 2 Yemeni rescuers from an anti-Houthi military group were killed in a suspected Houthi attack on a small cargo vessel in the el-Mandeb Strait. The fatalities aboard the Egyptian-owned Tihama would be the first deaths on shipping by Houthis since the Iran war began. Separately, the United States military has said it fired on a ship attempting to break its blockade of Iranian ports in the Gulf of Oman. In a statement, US Central Command said it had fired 2 Hellfire missiles, disabling the steering gear of the Panama-flagged container ship Villanova cargo vessel. The vessel ignored repeated warnings to stop violating a naval blockade on Iranian ports, according to the Central Command. It is the 12th vessel attacked by US forces since its blockade was announced in April and the 3rd since the blockade was reimposed on the 14th of July. In other news of the day, oil prices bounced around before finishing higher Tuesday, while global stocks were mixed as markets awaited a key inflation report. Crude prices initially rose more than 2% on hardening rhetoric between the United States and Iran on the prospects for reopening the Strait of Hormuz. On Tuesday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that Ukraine had handed over proposal to US negotiators for a plan to end more than 4-year-old conflict with Russia. The US negotiators, Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, were last in Moscow last January and have not yet visited Kyiv. Ukraine has repeatedly called for a ceasefire after nearly 4.5 years of fighting. Meanwhile, Russia says it wants a settlement, but any solution must involve Ukraine fully ceding 4 regions, Moscow claims, as well as resolving the conflict's root causes. Zelensky's announcement of fresh proposals for peace talks, largely stalled since the outbreak of the conflict with Iran, comes amid suggestions by both Russia and Ukraine that United States negotiators would soon pay a visit to both the two countries.
There was a briefing by the negotiating team. We have conveyed our proposals to the American side, and the United States can help strengthen our defense, first and foremost with air defense, and put pressure on Russia so that its plans are different to prepare for an end to the war rather than prolonging it.
Updates on Colombia earthquake now. Rescuers, soldiers and volunteers surged through collapsed apartment blocks and office buildings on Tuesday, a day after a magnitude 7.4 earthquake shook the South American nation. Rescue teams have continued searching through the rubble more than a day after the earthquake, with several people pulled alive from collapsed buildings. At least 250 people have been confirmed dead, most in the cities of Cali and Pereira. Some 5,000 homes suffered damage across the country, while dozens of buildings, many of them residential, collapsed entirely. Moving on, Thai Prime Minister Anuthin Charnvirakul on Tuesday suspended the issuance of permits to buy firearms and said existing licenses would be reviewed days after a 14-year-old gunman killed 9 people. Thai Prime Minister directed a Deputy Prime Minister overseeing legal affairs to expedite a new gun control law with stronger controls and significantly harsher penalties. Police were ordered to stop renewing permits that enable people to buy firearms. Next up, millions of people across Europe will witness a rare total solar eclipse on Wednesday, with Spain emerging as the best viewing location. The moon will completely cover the sun, casting a shadow from Russia's remote Arctic north at around 1700 GMT through Greenland, Iceland and across Spain before disappearing into the Mediterranean around 1830 GMT. This will be mainland Europe's first total solar eclipse since 2006. The total blackout will last less than 2 minutes in Spain, while a partial eclipse will be visible across much of Europe, Canada, the northern United States and Northwest Africa. In sports updates of the day, Pankaj Advani got a wildcard entry into the 3rd edition of the Hayball World Championships, featuring some of the world's top men's and women's players. The tournament, which will be held in Pune from the 12th to 15th of August, will feature a total of 128 players, 64 each in the men's and women's categories. In other news of the day, India's space journey owes much to the vision of Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, widely regarded as the father of Indian space program. A scientist, institution builder and visionary, Dr. Sarabhai believed that science and technology must directly contribute to national development.
Born on 12th August 1919 in Ahmedabad, Vikram Sarabhai pursued higher studies at the University of Cambridge before returning to India. In 1947, he established the Physical Research Laboratory in Ahmedabad, laying the foundation for advanced research in space science and related fields. Sarabhai played a pivotal role in shaping India's space program. In 1962, he was instrumental in establishing the Indian National Committee for Space Research, which laid the foundation for India's organized space program. ISRO was subsequently established in 1969. His vision extended beyond space research. Sarabhai believed that advanced technology must serve the needs of a developing nation, from education and communication to weather forecasting and development in remote areas. His dialogue with NASA helped pave the way for the Satellite Instructional Television Experiment, or SITE, launched in 1975. The pioneering experiment used satellite television to take educational programs to rural communities across India. Sarabhai also made a significant contribution to India's atomic energy program. Following the death of Homi Bhabha, he became chairman of the Atomic Energy Commission in 1966, serving in the position until 1971. Sarabhai's contribution extended beyond science and technology. He played an important role in the establishment of the Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, and helped build and strengthen scientific institutions across the country. Dr. Vikram Sarabhai passed away on 30th December 1971 at the age of 52. In recognition of his immense contribution to science and nation building, he was conferred the Padma Vibhushan posthumously in 1972. More than 5 decades later, his vision continues to guide India's space program. From satellites and launch vehicles to missions reaching the moon and beyond, the foundations laid by Vikram Sarabhai remain an enduring part of India's scientific journey. Bureau Report, DD India.
That's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Flora Swai, and from all of us here in New Delhi, thank you for watching DD India Live.